I know you didn't want anyone to talk about abortion because you say there's one side whose facts are distorted. I can only assume you mean the side of conservatives. I mean, who can blame you when some say rape doesn't get you pregnant? It's not that I don't understand the argument about women's choice, but what I want to argue is that even the unborn have a voice. It's not about forcing morality or my beliefs on the population. It's about protecting everyone's life, even the ones in the first stage of gestation. Protecting the soul even before its creation. It's true this debate is so divisive, turns friends against each other, turns neighbor against neighbor, sister against brother. It's true that this topic is fuel for political rhetoric, both sides unwavering, one selling freedom, one selling ethic. All politics aside, no side will I take. I will tell you why abortion is a mistake. Starting with the history, ending with philosophy, through logic and morality, I'll explain why I don't agree. Thankfully in America, we are free to discuss topics like this with those who don't agree with us. Let's go back to the year of 1848. There was this movement called women's suffrage. It started in New York and gained popularity among the public. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, one of the leaders of the movement, wrote a document of freedom called the Declaration of Sentiments. This called for women's rights, such as the right to vote and equal education. It says we are born equal since the day of our creation. Susan B. Anthony, another important activist, played a huge role in the movement, arguably the first feminist advocate. See, feminism was a beautiful thing. It changed the course of history. It gave women the rights they were born with. It was an amazing story of victory. Another topic discussed during this time of suffrage and change was the act of aborting babies before they were even given a name. I bet you would be surprised to know early feminists were against abortion. Stanton and Anthony wrote about it in their piece called The Revolution. No matter what the motive, the woman is guilty who commits the deed, but the one who compelled her to do it, oh, thrice guilty is he. When we consider that women are property, it is degrading to think that we also treat children as property, to be disposed of as we see fit. These were just a few quotes of the women who fought for my rights, the ones who changed women's lives forever, who were paramount in our fight. Now, I can't forget to mention a woman a few years later who opened the first clinic for birth control. Her name was Margaret Sanger. To stop the act of illegal abortion was her primary goal. I guess she didn't realize inside mothers was a soul. It might sound well and good, this so-called safe abortion, but did you know she was also a promoter of eugenics? She believed we needed to eliminate the unfit. She said, and I quote, "We must clean the race, and the most merciful thing a large family can do to an infant is kill it." I mention these facts to you because this is the history of abortion. And the feminists today don't realize it is exploitation. If we want to speak scientifically, scientists are amazed by bacteria. They say this is a sign of life on planets. They call this valid criteria. So why isn't the same logic applied to cells in a womb? Why is this not considered life? Why does it become their tomb? If we want to speak medically, the heart beats at 18 days. A few weeks later, the sensors develop to feel pain. Remember the quote from Anthony when she said, "Thrice is guilty he"? Who compelled her to do it? I think this needs some clarifying. See, the feminist movement has used abortion to prove that it is a woman's decision. But do we even think about the mothers who afterwards feel contrition? Do we even think about the fact it's actually not empowering to a woman to give her the choice to dispose of a life sustained from her bosom? Have you even thought that what Anthony was trying to say is we make it okay for a woman to not expect a man to stay? As long as she has the choice to end the life and part of her soul, it's okay to let a man go free, abandoning his role. We let a woman believe society owes her nothing. It's up to her to figure it out if she doesn't have an abortion. We let her believe motherhood isn't really that enviable, that sustaining another life isn't that incredible. Society as a whole should do whatever it takes to support a pregnant woman and the child that she has saved. Many argue, what if she's raped? What if the mother's life is at stake? Should we really let extenuating circumstances decide a child's fate? I'm not trivializing the horrors that some women have to face, but when we stop seeing a fetus as life, that's when we seal their fate. We could look at it from philosophy too, the idea of relativism. It means that there is no ultimate truth. Your truth is real, my truth is real. There is no distinction. If we appeared from nothing and morality evolved through time, then who's to say what's right? Is your truth better than mine? You can't prove human rights if everything is relative. You can't say slavery was bad if there is no standard for your perspective. So abortion can't be different from murder if there is no ultimate truth. You and I are no different than any member of the Nazi youth. Except there is an objective standard to which we must look. It cannot be found in statistics. It cannot be found in a book. There is a creator who knitted each of us in the womb, whose heart breaks each time an infant is given a verdict of doom. These things I have mentioned, abortion, feminism, morality, encompass the idea of intersectionality. The idea says that there are intersections between forms of oppression. I'd say the greatest oppression of all is ending life without question. I'd say our feminist foremothers would be appalled at us today. They didn't fight for equal rights so we could take life away. They fought against oppression from men who stole our basic rights. They fought for the idea that everyone deserves equal life. So it doesn't matter if you're conservative, liberal, or in between. Today we are all witnessing the worst crime that our country has ever seen. It masquerades as empowerment. It is passed off as choice. Who is going to represent the ones without a voice? I refuse to support policy that takes the life of another. I refuse to support an idea that demonizes being a mother. I am a feminist who believes God made us in the image of Him. I logically, scientifically, and morally do not and will not support abortion.